Hi everybody, it's Lori Bradley here in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I am in the middle, heading for the end of 31 projects in 31 days. Today is the October 22nd, so this is day 22. If you've been following along, hopefully you've enjoyed the projects. If you haven't been following along and you're just finding me, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, please be sure to follow my page, either one. And then you'll get notifications on when I go live for the rest of this week. We will be a little bit live, and I will have to post a couple of videos because we have some company coming in town. I'm a little bit under the weather today. I'm not feeling real great. I have kind of a scratchy throat. If you've been listening the last couple of days, I have had kind of a dry cough. I have kind of a scratchy throat and a little bit of congestion, so bear with me. We are going to use the Gingerbread Man bundle, and it is probably one of my favorites. I've been holding on to it for some of my favorites. The card that I'm using today is based on a card from the one of the Artisan design team members, who are a group that Stampin' Up! Has, who design beautiful cards. Usually they're way, way over the top, and I'm like, ooh, that's a little. So even today, this card is a little bit more frilly. I'm going to say frilly. I don't know if that's the right word, of cards that I usually do, but it's got kind of a lot of pieces. So I'm going to do that for you today. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, please feel free to give a shout out. Tell me where you're watching from. I see that Monica is watching from Tennessee. Thanks for being here, Monica, and let's get going. I will say the one thing, first of all, that I need to tell you is there is free shipping right now. If you have an order, if you have something that you have on your wish list, any order over $75 has free shipping. So, and oh my goodness, my son's trying to call me. Hopefully you can hear me. And so, sorry about that. That was a big distraction. The Gingerbread Man is going to be the, let me see if I can hide that light coming through on my window. All right, I apologize. There's this light from my windows coming in, so we'll pretend like that's not there. We'll go this way. Nope, that brings it over a little farther. Here, we're gonna scoot over. There we go. There we go. All right. All right, here we go. Gingerbread Man. This is the Gingerbread Man bundle is going to be my bundle for my November product-based card class. So this actually will probably be one of the cards, and I think it's pretty cute. I've already done part of the work, so I'm going to show you all the pieces. I have a pool party card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5, just a regular card base. And then I have a 3 3/4 by 5 Plaid. I've run that through the Plaid embossing folder. And then the postage stamp dies were actually still on my table from last night's video from the Jolly Delivery. But I also, it was part of the bundle part of the project that the design team person did. So I was like, perfect, here we go. So what I'm going to do with the postage stamp is I'm going to stamp the background with what looks like crumbs from our Gingerbread Man, except I'm going to make them pink. They're just going to be tone on tone. But the stamp set is super cute. You can stamp the Gingerbread Man, or there's eyes and ears. You can stamp those on your own. Ears, oh my goodness, eyes and a nose. There's squiggles for icing, so it's super cute. Super cute. But the one thing that's the craziest part to me is the dies. And this is the die package, and I hope you can see the whole thing. It is ginormous. It is literally like twice the size of the normal ones. So just so you know, when you if you order that and you pull that out of your package, that is really the dies. I'm not sure why it's quite that big, but it is ginormous. That's all I can say. All right, so now I can move on. All right, hi Pam. All right, so we're just gonna stamp. I'm gonna stamp some on, some off, some, we're just gonna go around the outside. I don't have to do the whole inside because our gingerbread man is going to cover up a lot of it, but I'm just going to make some pink crumbs around the outside. Probably I'm being way too precise. Every other one here. Just crumbs, just to give it a little bit of texture. Doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, the gingerbread man is going to cover most of it, so we don't have to worry about it, but just in case, that way we don't have to come in and think, oh, I need to add another crumb. Okay, so we can go ahead and we can put these pieces together. I'm going to use dimensionals for these. I'm going to pop them. I did a party invitation. I had extras, so I'm using my paper as the back. All right, and that is the last of that dimensional page. So I'm going to start a new one. All right. Yesterday we had cute. Today we had cute. I'm going to have to go back and find some traditional or elegant cards so that we can have all the kinds, right? Tomorrow I will be live. Oh my goodness, look what I did. I put the dimensionals on the wrong side. Let's see if I can switch those, and I can't. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. No one stopped me. You girls who are watching me did not stop me. All right, so we're gonna do it all but that piece because I will have to cut another one and run it through with the embossing folder. So let's go ahead and decorate our gingerbread man without it. Oh my goodness, this is what happens when I'm talking and not multitasking, or I am trying to multitask. Okay, goodness gracious. All right, so the gingerbread man cuts 2 at a time, and there's a little faint score line right here that you can see, which is great. You can make a gingerbread man card. It can be your whole card, which I think is super fun. So there's, like I said, that score line. But when I have just one gingerbread man, I don't want a little flat piece. So this is what I did. And you can run it through twice to get it to work. It's just a little bit tedious to make it happen. So you can't tell that my the gingerbread's right hand, but that it's flat on that end. I covered that up. So that's what I'm going to do for this one, but I'm going to show you how I did the other one because my second one, and I already have him stamped and die cut, but I rounded this edge so it looks a little more like the other one. There's just a tiny, tiny little score line, and if somebody is looking that close, then I'm going to tell them they're looking way too close, okay? But how I did that was I just cut it. Just rounded it along the shape. So then this guy looks normal, and then this one, even though he's got a chunk taken out of him, that's going to get covered with a candy or a candy cane, and so it is. It's okay. But just so you know, that does happen, and I can show you a different day how to make that not happen. Okay. All right, so we have our gingerbread man, and he is going to be, let's put him together first. I did this with white embossing powder. I stamped and embossed him. I've die cut a pool party hat and a pool party scarf. So I'm going to go ahead and attach those. Oh, snap is right. Like, oh, snap with my... Maybe I should put that on my card. Just put the dimensionals on the wrong side and lay it on there and say, oh, snap. I moved it a little bit. Okay, there we go. And then this one, I'm going to use regular adhesive because that hat has some holes in it, and I don't want my liquid glue to run through there because based on my performance already, that's what exactly would happen. All right, so he has his pool party hat, his pool party scarf. Now, here's where it gets, like I said, a little bit tedious. You could use adhesive sheets. That would be totally fine. These are pretty big stripes for the candy canes, so I think that just some glue will work enough to hold it on there. I don't think that's a problem. So this is the most time-consuming part. Put that on there. When you die cut the candy canes, it actually cuts it cuts the solid and it cuts the stripe at the same time. And so here, let me see. So it cuts, so I have a white background and a red stripe. As long as you use the same, if you've got two on a card, I think you should do them the same. But if they're not together, then either way is fine. But it cuts both at one time. It's on one die. Okay. So I have one candy cane, and then we have these little hard candies. And we can attach the swirls, little red and white swirls, like peppermint discs. Ooh, superheroes. That would be so cute. I've also seen ghosts made out of these, which are also really fun. They're more versatile than just gingerbread men, right? All right, so that adds the swirl to that one. And then we'll have a swirl on this one. Okay. Goodness. Talking is probably not my best idea, right? Okay, so we got our candy. Now the only thing we have left is our bow. And my gingerbread man lost the top of his bow that was right here. This is the other little thing. It's a little bit tedious, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this together. It's missing. Why does this happen to me when I think everything is here? It goes right here, and we're gonna glue that on. Just a tiny drop. If you're a heavy-handed glue person, you need to know that this is not a good heavy-handed glue thing. So tiny, tiny little drops. All right, and then that other piece goes right there. Okay. Now let's put this together, or we've got him together. We just need to put him on here. All right, so let's make this one different. We just won't have that white piece on the back. We'll still just make him like this. Well, maybe I'll add it later because I think it needs that separation. Wah. Okay, dimensional gingerbread man. We're gonna dimensional him right up. Ooh, a mummy. Yes, I've seen the mummy also where they wrapped 1/2-inch strips across. So cute. So cute. All right. Let's lay that on a little bit sideways. And then I'm going to give him his candy cane. Now this one I have cut the sides so they're round, they're both rounded, so it doesn't necessarily matter. I can put it, but if I had this little chunk out of this hand, I would place it so that that covered that chunk that was out of it. And that's just the easiest thing to do with it. But since we don't have to do that, I'm going to put some glue right in the middle because his hand is going to hold it. And then I'm going to take some mini dimensionals, or you know what, I'll just cut one of these because that's what's handy to put on the cane part. Like that. All right. So we'll put that on. It's just gonna go right on there. I don't know. Is it weird? I don't think it is, but is it weird that the candy cane crook goes to the right-hand side? I obviously didn't design that, but that's kind of how I feel. Excuse me. Goodness. Okay. And then I'll use a little drop of glue for my bow. So like I said, it's a little bit tedious, but it's so cute when it's done. So this is a little beyond my usual preferences. All right, then our red candies, we're gonna put those, right about there, but I'm not gonna attach those yet because I wanna put my cinnamon on, and I used a Stylish Shapes banner. Rochelle Block is the demonstrator who designed this, and I think it's so cute. But she used, I mean, I'm doing exactly what she did because it was great, right? Wow. Glad I remembered my drink. Okay, so the Gingerbread Man is going to just have some candy next to him, and then our banner is going to go right here. It's going to go over the candies a little bit, but they're going to be a little bit of glue to hold those, and then I'll put a dimensional underneath so that they don't fall down. Let's see. So when I have them, the pieces that are hanging over, let's put a little dimensional on that just so they're supported. Doesn't have to be a huge piece, just enough to hold it up. All right. It's in the wrong hand. Is that what the problem is? Maybe that's the problem. So when I have the flat side, maybe the next one I should do the flat side on the other side. That's a good point. Not thinking super clearly today, right? All right, now I shouldn't have taken off that backing because now I'm going to put my dimensionals on this guy. This is a puffy card. I wonder if I put that too far to the edge. I think I did. That is unfortunate. I was going to say, I put my dimensionals on, which I was going to put my pink piece on, but I think my dimensionals are too far out. Yeah, they are. All right, never mind. All right, so then we have, a crooked bow. All right, then we're going to put our banner on. Right about there. I keep moving this bow. It needs a little bit more glue, I think. All right, now, last couple of things. I'm going to just use a linen thread, because linen thread kind of goes with our gingerbread, little gingerbread man. Kind of a little bit rustic, still cute. And then a tiny little piece to tie the bow. Oop. You got to keep track of your twine. There we go. And then we'll put that on with a glue dot. All right. If you have made a mummy or a superhero, I would love to see them. When you get to that point, I would love that. I think that'd be fun. So we can see what else we can do with these. Put that there. Now, this is exactly the same as my original sample, but I'm going to set this aside for a second so I can add it to another piece of white that I'm die cut plaid. So voila, magic of live video. The one thing that I want to add to this that I didn't add to my original, and I'm going to come back in and I'm going to add it as well, are the little peppermint red and white adhesive back peppermints, because I think these would be perfect as a little, instead of a shiny gem or a sparkle gem, I think that the peppermints are the perfect addition to this guy. Like, just add a little bit more red and white. Let's see. I'll do a big one. My thing is almost empty, but there's 3 sizes of this one. And then we'll put one down here. If I'd thought a little harder about it, I would have, I think it'll be okay here. I would have put one I'm going to move my words over, but anyway, that is our Gingerbread Man card with his plaid embossing folder, the postage stamp die with the background stamped, and then all of the die cut pieces for the Gingerbread Man. And like I said, this is card class for November. So if you're interested, I will post the sign up link for that in the next day or so. So have a great rest of your night. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. It'll be at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And then Friday, oh man, I think Friday was in the morning. I don't remember. I will repost that schedule. And I will see you tomorrow night. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching.